he's not a community liaison because he get everybody together when something major happens. He doesn't have that kind of leadership, but what he does have is a good head on him and a good solid understanding from experience, and that is phenomenal. Anyway, I ran into him down there where they assist the homeless people. It's the homeless shelter and it's the feed all wrapped into one. I need a place to work on my car. You can't do it on the street here, so you have to have a place to do it. One of the ladies that was over there told me just to park my car would be fine. I didn't need to ask, but I did make sure that I went and asked. I do have permission to go park it there as soon as I got the part and work on it and get it done and get the hell out of there. Now we're coming to the point. While I was there asking for permission from that, I ran into somebody from One Community Health, and these are apparently our go-to as far as peers go. Now, I explained to him about the situation at the hospital when they put those drugs into my drink, and the fact that I record everything, and that I recorded the officer that I tried, or the sheriff's department guy that I tried to speak with, and that I'd already called Community One, and they told me they couldn't do anything until the end of November. So he looked it up. He said that there was methamphetamines and marijuana in my system, which the marijuana they should have put on my paperwork too, by the way. Anyway, he was saying it was strange because they didn't write anything down about the situation or the scenario that happened. Nothing at all. They just wrote down ingestion, and he said that he's going to go look into that because, well, they're not supposed to do that. That's not their protocol. When somebody has been drugged like that, they're supposed to call the cops. And that's not just for somebody who's got a disability. That's somebody came in and told you that someone put drugs in their drink. Yes, there is a protocol that is supposed to be followed, and well, as much as it may be a misdemeanor to commit those things, and in some cases a civil situation, the fact that I am a disabled adult does, well, it basically upgrades every single one of those. It upgrades the civil stuff to being criminal. In most cases, just misdemeanors, but it's still criminal. And it upgrades the things that would be misdemeanors to felonies. Now, a lot of these people, I understand, they don't want their friend to lose his job over a hobo. You know, it's just a hobo. These guys work closely with each other a lot more than they work closely with the homeless. That's why it's important to run to a homeless person who knows what the hell is going on. Somebody who does have a level head, somebody who is clean and sober, and I have had difficulties finding that out here. Most of the people that are sober, they don't want to speak up because they don't want to be speaking up for a bunch of alcoholics and meth addicts and heroin addicts. But at the same time, they're being victimized as if they're those people. Not okay. Anyway, he said that they didn't do it right, and he's correct. I already knew that. So he's going to look into it, and I'm going to try to get permission to have Dan as well as Cal. Cal screwed up real big. Okay, Cal is another one of those people that it was a mandated reporter thing, and for me to have to come here to get assistance turning something in Hood River is just stupid. There's also the fact that Cal and Dan could have explained the situation to the police instead of the police arguing with me, treating me like I'm retarded, like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And when I explained to them there is recordings of it, they just outright ignore the recordings and do whatever the hell they want. Now that guy who was angry with me, they had the cops come and yell at me for trespassing. Well, he came and spoke to me, and I have permission to give his name out to anybody as far as these professionals who's actually going to try to help Dan. See, that's the thing about the guy who got his window busted. He has repeated vandalism going on at his place. It's not just Daniel putting his foot through the window. I think it's a possible retaliation thing. And he and I both are, well, it could be Daniel, but we don't have any evidence of that. The cops don't give a shit. And, you know, if that man is able to get proof that it's Daniel that's vandalizing his stuff, and he believes that they're going to actually do something to help Daniel, the man is aware of Daniel's health and safety risks. He is aware that Daniel is at risk of being beaten up and possibly killed, that there's a lot of homeless people. And even in the recordings here in the Dalles, it's the same thing. We've got some feller thought I looked familiar apparently, and he honked and had to wave at me. Put a smile on my face, and I'm glad he did it. It did take me off topic. The topic is Daniel right now. Daniel cannot take care of himself. He's trying the best that he can given his disabilities. If any of y'all have been following the video Daniel's Koi, those are blood stains from his foot when he was, well, he probably would have bled to death if I hadn't called as quickly as I had. Because it was pretty much immediate. I heard the crash. I went to go see the situation and to record what had just happened, while Shayna and Logan went the other way because they didn't want to get in trouble. They didn't want to get blamed for it. How many of you can understand that? Being afraid to get blamed for something that you didn't do. So Logan and Shayna, according to their understanding, did the right thing in order to protect themselves. But Daniel, when I got up there, there was a lot of blood. Daniel is still feeling the effects, being woozy from the blood loss. I mean, this is a few weeks later. He lost a lot of blood. The safety risks and issues with Daniel, they're immense. And they're over things that he cannot help. He can't turn that off. That's not a choice. It's not a decision. And for people to victimize him, just like, well, there's 3 women out here who are severely traumatized to the point that they're barely functional as human beings, and, you know, 2 of them basically, they function at the level of a 5-year-old, and people are constantly yelling at them, "Get the fuck away from me, you bitch," and shit like that. You know, it's just so incredibly mean. Even out here on the streets, you know, the most victimized people are the ones that the homeless are going to victimize. You know, it's a top-down structure when it comes to victimization. It's important for you to work together with people that are at your own wavelength. If they don't understand your situation and they're not willing to listen to understand, they just want to tell you how to think and how to feel from a very ignorant point of view, then you're dealing with assumptions. And people who are dealing with assumptions cannot help you, especially when they're stuck on those assumptions and will not make any attempt to effectively communicate or to effectively listen. That's one of the things that has frustrated me to the end of the fucking earth. Trying to explain it to people, and they're wanting to only text, and they say they'll call, and they say they'll call, and they say they'll call, but they want to keep on texting me, keep taking literally everything that I type wrong. So I'm like, hey, stop fucking typing at me and fucking listen. Instead of literally going out of your way to take everything wrong, which is what it is at that point, why don't you stop fucking typing? If you can type at me for 4 fucking hours of fucking texting, sending me into a goddamn anxiety attack, then you can shut the fuck up and listen. You can, instead of wasting 4 hours of our time getting everything wrong and sending me into a fucking panic attack because everything that you're typing at me is showing your assumptions, but you're not willing to listen. You've already made those assumptions, and by the time you finally do talk to me, it's you doing the talking. Right at the very beginning, when people were claiming they were going to help me, I'm like, hey, I'll send you the evidence, help me. Like, all right. And then, of course, the 2 weeks of fucking typing, claiming that they're gonna call me tomorrow, and it's like, just so you understand, I didn't put my eggs in one basket. I had a lot of people that reached out to me and offered to help. And I had to sort through them to find out which eggs were rotten, which eggs were lazy, which eggs were actually turds. That's right. Sometimes chickens lay eggs, sometimes they poop. Now we've got Karen in Hood River, and she lives up to the name. She's a Karen. She can talk nice, but she'll play this sheep in wolf's clothing, or wolf in sheep's clothing bullshit, or the crying wolf when you say you're going to turn her in for not doing her job as a mandated reporter. Anyway, I'm gonna try to work together with this guy because he said there's something fishy about it. With me having the stuff actually recorded, he said that's smart and he does the same thing. And I already knew that. It's nice to have validation, isn't it? See, here's what the lawyers told me to do. The lawyers told me to record it, to write it down, to collect actual evidence. If I can get the actual situations as they're happening, that is the best. But then there's all these people who, oh, Sean, how dare you record me? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. How dare I record you? How dare you make me do such a thing because you were too cowardly to come forward and tell the truth? Now you can go ahead and play victim all you want, but the evidence shows otherwise. Because while you were busy trying to connive, twist, and manipulate me into not doing what the lawyers said that I had to do, I was busy doing what the lawyers told me to do. I was also busy being cut off illegally from doing those things, which is where I have a case across the entire country, where they keep wanting to pull the mentally ill thing and pretend that I'm schizophrenic. Well, that's against the law. For these officers to give medical diagnosis when they are not medical professionals is also against the law. Scott DaCosta is not allowed to pretend to be a medical doctor or, of course, a licensed physician or anyone who is even allowed to diagnose schizophrenia. And yet we have multiple recordings of people admitting that Scott DaCosta is still running around, as I told you, telling people that I am schizophrenic to justify his crimes. I also told you that these tactics are nationwide. Anyway, I gotta collect up my evidence. Hopefully I don't screw my back up too much. Oh fuck. Gotta get this up there to the office that I was recording, I want to say last night. I was gonna try to get some stuff prepared. My computer wanted to do some update stuff, and I believe I'm supposed to be there around 2 o'clock. That gives me about an hour and a half to try to get something done. My part in my car should be in at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll see how it works. That guy from One Community Health, I think he sent me a friend request on Facebook, so I'm gonna exit out of this and accept the friend request. This is stuff that shouldn't be happening. I'm following instructions, they're not. I was told to go through them and do a follow-up within 2 days, and I was told by One Community Health that they wouldn't be able to take me or listen to me till end of November. So I told him that, and of course, like I said, I record everything. I wanted to make sure that when I got permission to fix my car over there, that it was recorded, that I did have permission. Unfortunately, it's on my recording device, not recorded live, so it takes some post-editing work to get it off of that and to put it on my computer, and then it takes a few hours of post-editing for it to do everything it needs to in order to be, what's the word I'm looking for, formatted to go on YouTube when it's just an audio file. That's one of the things about having literally thousands of recordings, thousands of audio files. How is it even possible to download all of that onto the internet at 2 hours of recording in the least? Also, now that my computer is up and going, I'm trying to get it to allow me to log in. I'm clicking on it. It's not doing anything. Okay, I'm kind of giving away my nerd status here. I like the original series Enterprise. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever made. That's just because of the nostalgia that goes along with it. A lot of that is actually nostalgia from my stepdad and the incredible amount of respect I have for him despite the fact that he's a simp. There's a lot of this stuff over here on this side is stuff about child abuse elsewhere. And there's a lot of it that I can't possibly go through. There's no way in hell, just because there's simply that much of it. We're trying to shut out Discord because we don't need it. OneDrive, I'm not going to try signing into that until I have help because I'm having a lot of issues with it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to send at least Witcher 2 to this lady before I go over there, but it might take a while to download it, so I am going to call CFL from Dalles to talk to Dan and let him know I'd like to meet him where I met him last time at that building, because I already have a meeting with the child protective place there. I've got quite a few also on my Facebook. I'm not sure if I'll have the ability to connect this there, but if they can assist me with it, then I can use my telephone to give myself internet, and then I can use that to try to get as much done here as possible. I am going to need to try to come up with $65 for my phone bill. I need to do that quickly. I also got to come up with some money for my car insurance, and I got to do that quickly. On the bright side, I am starting to run into the people that I need to know. I'm also able to get testimony from several homeless people, and there's about half a dozen homeless people here who want to tell their stories, but we didn't have time. Also, this morning, there was a lot of people that I was trying to explain that I was going to make a video that I was just going to make it. That was the one called Drugs Are No Excuse. And they thought that I was wanting them to be a part of it. Well, no, not yet. You know, if they've got their stories that they want to tell, I am totally down with them telling their stories on my YouTube channel. But when I told them the title of the video, they were all like, oh no, I don't want to be recorded on that video. Like, yeah, I understand. I totally understand, which is a good thing because I wasn't going to try recording them anyway. If you listen to that video, though, you can hear them screaming in the background and hooting and hollering at each other, and even one or two of them yelling about me. The recording on my audio device of the whole situation, that's what I'm hoping to download right now. That way, on that audio recording device, it'll be clean and clear, and I'll have about 7 hours of recording time. I do have stuff separated from Hood River, Dr. Roofied. That's what I was speaking to the gentleman from One Community Health about today. Let's see. Stuff from the Dalles. more stuff from the Dalles. This is all since I've been here. And there's a lot of miscellaneous evidence from, like this is from 2021. A lot of these are important situations. I believe, Jose, that is evidence with Stephanie. No, it's either Stephanie Mejia's husband or one of her friends, I believe. Also, there's a lot of these that I need to turn in that they don't have people's phone numbers. Yes, all of these are phone calls with Stephanie Mejia's husband while I was there in Ventus's in Colorado. And I feel bad for her husband. There's a lot of them. Obviously, they're untouched since I recorded them because I haven't written down what's in each one of them because that requires listening to them. And at the time, I had the ability to record, but not the ability to download it onto the computer. So there's that there. There's also, I've got a copy of Witcher 2 that's, this is the information I'm trying to show. Open. Working on it. All right, so these are all screenshots. I'm not gonna click any of them open right now because I haven't edited it. So there's the phone numbers still at the top of it on the ones with phone numbers. And so, you know, this is with Amy Witcher. This is the stuff that explains about the child abuse there in Sydney, Nebraska. And I'm gonna try to turn this in as well. If you notice, it's still trying to, there's a lot. Like I said, scroll, 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 scroll. And it's still taking its time. All right, so then we've got, this might be a video of Deputy Holloway in Dual County. That's actually, I probably shouldn't have clicked on that. The one that I'm also looking at is actually on my YouTube. There's a guy who got a hold of me about human trafficking of a 16-year-old. And when I took it to Hood River, they basically blew me off best they could. I try explaining I don't have the facilities to turn in the evidence. And they just blow me off and tell me to do things I don't have the ability to do. If I had the ability to do it myself, I wouldn't be going to them. This is stuff that they're not taking seriously, that they took very nonchalant, and that's just not cool. So this lady up here, she can help me to turn in stuff from out of state, like the stuff with Witcher 2 here. And then there's other situations of child abuse that are in here. It's just going to take a lot to go through it all. And see, here's Sarah Bacon. She's one of the people who, well, I was called schizophrenic for saying that people's lives were threatened and people were threatening to kill their kids and stuff. This is a few videos with Sarah Bacon, and recordings, of course, with her too, that these are all with Sarah Bacon. They're not on my YouTube channel, obviously. And here's one called While in Oregon. This is a lot of the stuff that I need to turn in between each one of these. Hood River Dispatch, cops and stuff. Let's see how many are in here. Working on it. All right, there's only 3 there. It's got the times and the dates. The hospital one that I have, let's see. This is a traveler. A lot of these are only 2 of them. Some of them have up to 30 of them in there. is miscellaneous Hood River. Like I said, I record everything. The problem is that it's not organized. Most of the time, I'm lucky if I'm able to download it to the computer. I definitely don't have the time to go through it. So I mean, it's just a phenomenal amount of crap. Anyway, I'm going to take this computer up there with me. My back is pretty screwed up, so let's hope I make it. There's a lot of other victims that are dead. Here's my friend Daniel Kitlitz. Oh, come on now. You can see it takes a while for it to do anything now. It's pretty well full of evidence. I need to remove the games that are on it because I can't play them. It's too full. It's got too much lag. It also interferes with justice. I've also got a bunch of stuff from Ventus. I got stuff with, there's actually recordings in here of Ventus and Stephanie Mejia having sex, which I'm sure they don't want put on the internet. That's one that there's information in it that needs to be on the internet, but I should probably edit out the sex sounds. See how long this has taken? That's Daniel Kitlitz. I found him dead behind the pedestrian shop in Boulder, Colorado. If you look on my channel and you look up the name Tony DeStassi or Kinga Nichols or a witness from Hungary or Anna. Anna is another witness, and they all speak about that on my YouTube channel, and they're also all very angry that I recorded them and put them on my YouTube channel and my Facebook. They're killing my people, all right? This was a serious situation. Here's a recording with Deputy Holloway. Here's one with a picture of Zach and Jenny. Oh, come on now, let me adjust the volume. All right, well, anyway, we got to get back to business. So just showing you that there's a lot of stuff on here. It's very difficult to go through. This is from Megan Misigatis. This is from 6/15/2022. I have some other ones that are actually way older than that. But of course, some of it's on this computer, some of it's on the other computer. This is a lot of the stuff that I was able to edit so I could put it on the internet, take the stuff out of there that's important. Deputy Holloway, Deputy Anderson, Sheriff's Department, Hammond, there's, like I said, there's a lot of phone calls that are not on the internet. Some of these are actually recordings with they've got the same names as some of the videos that I have. Rollins PD, Rayanna and the kids, Rihanna, Amy and the girls. These are situations with Ryan. Here's another recording with Sarah. I mean, there's I saved the evidence. I did what the lawyers told me to do. All my friends tried to talk me out of doing what the lawyers said I was supposed to do. All of these different agencies that are supposed to help people like me, they neglected their duties, and they wanted to outright go out of their way to not do what it is that the lawyers said to do. The help that we get is quote-unquote help that refuses to do what it takes to actually turn in these predators. They blow us off. I got to try to get some forms so that I can have the folks at the DHS office thing up there talk to Dan from CFL, and also permission for them to speak to the Sheriff's Department here in the Dalles, as well as to the, well, I want to give them permission to have full interagency cooperation. That's essential. This is a safety issue and a safety risk for not just myself, but everybody in the surrounding area. If somebody decides, oh, well, Sean Schwartz is in the area, and I just found out about the rumors about him, so I can harm somebody and we'll try to blame Sean for it. Well, that's already happened several occasions since Natalie's death, so it's something I do need to pay attention to. All right, so we're going to get this done. It's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.